Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and look at this. Cerebras, which has been on the link to my sponsor, has been on link to's platform this week. I think it may still be up there. They're targeting raising up to $1 billion in their IPO. This article is from 2 days ago. Looks like they're planning to kick off IPO offering this week with a view to raising as much as $1 billion in New York, in a New York listing. People with knowledge of the matter said. Let's see here. What does it say about when they're doing this? Existing investors. Anyway, I don't know what that exactly means in terms of what the road to IPO, or when they're going to actually go IPO, or if this is an announcement of the road show or what. But they are on the link to platform. And speaking, you can go to linqto.com, or you can download the link to app. Speaking of link to, I love it. If you might remember when Uphold posted twice, they've posted a tweet where it said, XRP is at $1,000. What do you do? And Link to the guy running their social media. I like this guy. I don't know who it is, but he's creating some controversy here the way Uphold did. I love it. Look how many views this tweet has. You got to love this. 284,000 views. What would you do if XRP went to the moon? And then they've got a $1,000 mark. Nobody here is saying, and I don't think Link to is saying it's going to 1,000, but there's no harm in having a little fun with a tweet, right? So go check that out. Bitcoin is having the best September on record. I think there's a lot of anticipation out there. Now here, this is the modern investor, Riz XRP, had put a little clip from his show out.
The excitement is still there. Ripple is constantly in the news. I showed you a couple of videos ago if you didn't see it. Basically, I was showing you like all the news that happens over the course of a day. Actual real news for some reason is very difficult to come by in the cryptocurrency market, because a lot of it has to do with meme coins and or Solana doing backflip.
Right. That's because the VC pump gang's involved. Now, Eleanor Terrett put this out new. A former SEC lawyer who recently left the agency tells me the SEC will probably appeal Judge Torres' July 2023 ruling concerning the XRP programmatic sales in Ripple case, partly because everyone over there at the SEC truly believes that the decision is wrong, that it's not good law and should be appealed. Going to do a deeper dive in the SEC's options and because they just really think that it's not good law. They're all so concerned about the law over at the SEC. You know that, so concerned that they go into court and lie to judges. Okay, that's how concerned they are about the law. They're just so concerned. What they're concerned about is continuing the regulatory capture of Ripple. Jeremy Hogan says, of course they think the opinion's wrong. They were on the losing side. What the SEC should be thinking of right now is whether an appeal furthers its mandate of investor protection and capital formation. Why isn't that top of mind? More evidence the SEC has lost the plot. Exactly. It should be of none of their concern whether a ruling is right or wrong. It's the ruling. Their concern should be protecting investors and capital formation and making innovation in the United States thrive. But for some reason, they don't want to do that. Why? It's almost like they're trying to destroy the United States economy or destroy the part not controlled by incumbent banks. Cowboy Crypto, who is the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, has a theory, I think, that Layden Stewart is, I guess this could be one of, I don't know if he's saying it here, but it could be one of Eleanor Terrett's, could be her source. recently left the SEC at their regional trial counsel for crypto assets, is also ex-chairman in Sterling for 3.5 years, which is Bill Hinman's old law firm. Go figure. What lawyer recently left the SEC? Based on the information available, Layden Stewart is noted as having left. So, there you go. Maybe Layden Stewart's the source. Just a little reminder for you today that Ripple's no ordinary company and XRP is no ordinary digital asset, despite all the negative people, the people who just couldn't take us being in a bear market and lost their faith. Not this guy. I never lost my faith because I believe Ripple's no ordinary company and XRP's no ordinary digital asset. They told you so. Why is Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse speaking at the Philadelphia Fed on a panel called Recent Innovations in Payments? Fintech, 8th Annual Fintech Conference, October 22nd to 23rd, 2024. There they are. Recent Innovations in Payments. Go figure. Not an ordinary company. Ripple X, be sure to tune in as Dan Fisher. Dan Fisher and special guests, they'll be talking about real world asset tokenization on the XRP ledger. This is going to be on September 30th in an X Spaces. You're going to want to check that out. Now, major bombshells coming in XRP Unleashed documentary. I've actually talked to them, and yes, there are major bombshells. Anybody that tells you ETHgate is not alive and kicking doesn't know anything and doesn't have the information to know any better. I'm sure they'll correct their record. Here is this is Maya from Fruition Films. Here we go.
And, even also from August on, we've had some major connections and ties to the Ethereum Foundation, where we have been able to verify and validate some, very interesting information that is going to create a bombshell in this documentary coming out. In regards to some of the corruption going on with the Ethereum Foundation, with our own government, certain, Chinese companies as well. So, as of, just even the latest, Chris right now, actually, speaking of which, Chris is in New York and in Washington, D.C. He had to go back and film, just get the last little piece of information from Stephen Neri off in New York. And then in Washington, D.C., he's there currently filming with the Power Oversight Group. Is that what they're called?
Empower.
Which actually they themselves, that group,
right here,
sued the SEC. So that was a huge get. And we also were able to connect with, through Stephen and through some other people, connect with James O'Keefe as well. We're still kind of making, we're still kind of figuring out kind of when's the best time to get him involved and how he's going to play a role in helping us promote this. But, exciting things are coming, major bombshells, even more so than what I am telling you guys.
Here's Empower when they were recording, I guess, this last week in Washington, D.C., a productive recording session indeed. Thank you, Fruition Films, for interviewing Tristan Levitt and Jason Foster. Tristan's the president of Empower. Jason Foster is one of the founders. I met these guys when I went up to D.C., and they were doing a dinner with Chuck Grassley, who I also got to meet, Senator Chuck Grassley. And these guys, I think, used to work for him or with him. Looking forward to the release of XRP Unleashed. Here they go. That is them. And there is, that's Jason Foster. And that is Tristan Levitt right there. All right. Now, this is must see right here, folks. Building a Bitcoin prison. This guy right here, his name is Mike Benz. He was at the State Department in the cyber division, I guess. This guy knows things. We've tried to tell you for a long time, folks. Crypto, I say 99% of crypto, was created by governments for the purpose of herding us all into the system. And this all this, he's at Bitcoin. Where was it? Nashville, or I think it was in Nashville. But he's there, and I don't think they realized who they got on stage. And I think he got up there. They literally shut him down at the end. But listen to what he says, folks. He's telling you, now why, you see all these Bitcoin El Salvador and all. He's like, why he's telling you, why El Salvador?
And tying this back to the sort of Bitcoin story, it's the same thing with free speech money. From the State Department's eye view, it's all about capacity building. You want to build up a capacity in these countries to do these things. And cryptocurrency is extremely useful to the state to be able to evade state-controlled banking in other countries. And just a few things here, and then we'll, I think, maybe get more to our tete-a-tete. But in 2020, the State Department signed a partnership with Circle, USDC, now the 6th largest cryptocurrency.
Has anybody listening to my voice ever wondered, why would Circle be allowed to have a money printing machine in the United States? Why would Ripple be allowed to have a money printing machine in the United States? Why has Tether been allowed to operate a printing machine offshore? And don't tell me that the U.S. can't get to them. They can.
For Circle we wanted to overthrow the government of Venezuela. There was a guy named Juan Guaido who only got 7% of the vote in Venezuela, but we declared him the president of the country because we wanted to regime change them and frankly take the oil and resources that Venezuela has. And so the problem is if we wanted to fund a dissident group, if we wanted to fund Maduro's army of CIA-backed mercenaries, we couldn't just deposit it into the Venezuelan state system. We had to launder the money in there the same way we had to launder ideas during the Cold War. And so the State Department signed a deal with Circle, which again now is the 6th largest crypto in all circulation, in order to evade the Venezuelan banking system so that we could fund all their dissidents on a basis that goes directly into their account. And just one last thing on this. In Ukraine, we forced the Zelensky's government in Ukraine to adopt this new digital ID system called DIA. It's a government in a smartphone where all payments are now tracked digitally. USAID got $15 billion to distribute an aid, and Samantha Power, the head of it, and USAID is this front for CIA activity and Pentagon activity. They said the only reason we were able to get so much money out of Congress to do this paying, because they were paying healthcare workers. We're paying for the pensions of everyone in Ukraine through these USA payments. The issue was Ukraine was a corrupt state. So if you just gave $15 billion to the Ukrainian government, you don't know where the money goes. They could, warlords, they could basically distribute it to their own cronies. But what Samantha Power pitched to Congress is, hey, we have this new totalizing digital payment system so we can track and trace every dollar. And so she was billing it as an anti-corruption mechanism. But that means that the U.S. can trace every single dollar that now flows within the internal ecosystem of Ukraine because of this new digital payment system. And this is really the sort of building a Bitcoin prison. I know it's not Bitcoin in this case, but although it's Bitcoin compatible.
It's all of it.
It's that sort of building a Bitcoin prison where this thing that you think frees you from the state is actually a tool for total state control.
This is probably where they just about escorted him out. Now, in DAIXRP.com, guess what? There's a warning to Americans in here, and we're going to talk about how there are dozens of whistleblowers that are going to show up in the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to show you. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Things are about to get real interesting in this country in the next couple of weeks, I think.